Hey everyone, and welcome to Puro Dino. Today's episode will be a little bit different. The setting, as you can see, is also a little bit different. I'm in my veranda, aka atelier, where me and my daughter get up to some creative stuff. Today is not going to be just about my Alfredo. It's going to be about every car ever named Dino. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into the story behind the Dino marque, named after Alfredo Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari's first son. Um, Dino was his nickname for Alfred Dino, and ultimately became the name of one of the most misunderstood chapters in Ferrari's history. And here's the thing. The way the story has been told over the years, it's all based on myths, assumptions, journalistic storytelling, but not hard facts. And that's a big problem, because one of the most unfair injustices in automotive history, the way the GT4 was received, was built on those assumptions. And you may not even realize just how deep that injustice goes. But stick with me. By the end of this video, I hope you'll feel differently about the Dino marque, but also begin to question most, if not all, of the mainstream Dino narrative. Let's get back to the beginning. First of all, let me say that Jason Camissa did an absolutely brilliant hacker video on this topic. And if you haven't seen that video, click on the link up there or follow the link in the description below after you've watched this video. Now, what started this whole myth? The idea that the Dino brand was created to protect the Ferrari brand. The story goes like this. Enzo Ferrari supposedly said, anything less than a V12 is not worthy of the Ferrari name. And so instead of slapping the Ferrari name on a V6 engine, he created a new brand. Dino. It's an okay story, but it starts falling apart the moment you start asking questions. So here's the first red flag. That famous Enzo quote? Nobody actually knows where or when he said that. Was it in an interview? Was it in a private conversation? Was it in a heated debate? The context we don't have, which is massively important. If anybody can prove that Enzo Ferrari actually said that with the exact date and context, I'll be the first to revisit my position. But until then, we need to treat that quote for what it likely was. A dramatic statement that morphed into fact. So let's look at Enzo's actions, not his words. Did he love 12-cylinder engines? Absolutely, no doubt about it. But did he only make V12s worthy of the Ferrari badge? Not even close. And that was just a very quickly created list to show all the non-V12 cars that were built and raced before 1965. And remember, Enzo cared more about racing than he ever did about a road car. So the idea that he was happy enough to put the Ferrari name on a non-V12 race car, but somehow too proud to put the Ferrari name on a non-V12 road car? That just doesn't hold up. Now here's the part that really gets me. We're meant to believe that these Dino badge cars weren't good enough to be Ferraris. Yet Enzo named them after his late son. This is the man who visited Dino's gravesite almost every day for the rest of his life. He kept the son's office untouched for decades, and he wore sunglasses for the rest of his life to hide his grief. And you're telling me that this man would say, this car is not good enough for the Ferrari name, just put my dead son's name on it? Come on! Let's get real here, okay? Dino was Alfredo Ferrari's first name. His last name was still Ferrari. So when you see a Dino badge on a nose, you're still seeing a Ferrari. You're just on a first name basis. These cars, they were Ferrari. Not just technically, not just spiritually, in every way that matters. Even if they never wore the badge initially. What a lot of people seem to forget is that Ferrari themselves never officially stated that the Dino marque was created to protect the Ferrari name. That narrative? It came from automotive journalists that tried to explain the branding, and over time that became gospel. But there is another way to look at it, and this is my take. Ferrari wanted to compete with the 911s of its day. True. And to do so, it needed a more compact, affordable sports car to do so. A V12 wasn't the right engine for this sort of segment. And guess what they had on hand? A brilliant, race-proven V6 co-designed by Dino himself. Using that engine wasn't a compromise. It was the perfect match. And what better tribute than to finally put his name, Dino, on an engine that he helped to create. The only source I've been able to find where Enzo talks about the Dino brand is in Enzo's autobiography. And Enzo states that due to circumstances, the car was named Dino. That's a bit vague, and it doesn't help to back up the myth that exists, but it also doesn't help to debunk it either. Now, this is where it gets personal. Because of this historical inaccuracy, it didn't only affect the 206 and the 246, but it really hit the 308 GT4 and the 208 GT4. Why? Because once people believed that these weren't real Ferraris, they used that as a springboard to attack the GT4. Oh, it's not a real Ferrari. It's an ugly one. It's the black sheep. That criticism wasn't just about styling. It was a misunderstanding of the entire Dino legacy. And that needs to stop. So if you own a 206, you lucky, or a 246 or 308 GT4 or 208 GT4, and it still has that Dino badge, be proud. You're not missing that Ferrari badge. You have something much more intimate. You're on a first name basis with a legacy, and that's something no other Ferrari can claim. So I hope that today's episode helped shine a light on what I think is the truth behind the Dino name and the damage done by a myth that should have been questioned a long time ago. And this is just a start. There's a lot more nonsense to address, especially when it comes to the GT4. And believe me, we'll get there. So if you like this kind of content, guys, like it, share it with your fellow car enthusiasts, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Help me grow this channel, and let's give Dino, and especially the GT4, all the justice it deserves. Ciao a tutti, see you in the next episode.